Hello, 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 and welcome back to the GTD podcast. I'm the Norix. I speak for the podcast, and we are back once again. This time, that statement makes sense because there hasn't been a gap in between recordings, this time anyways. Yes. Sorry. We are back once again. That laugh isn't going to make sense to the audience because they can't see my name change. They can't see my my screen name change. So
the
fuck is
hello? What happened?
All right. Well, that's
Where'd Matthew go?
Strange.
What happened?
Why? What is going on?
What?
Matthew?
What?
All right then. Well, we're here as always with my co-hosts Devin and Matthew. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, I suppose, while we figure out that strangeness. You're muted.
I have no idea what happened.
All right then.
My Zoom just shut down out of nowhere. So
we have some ghosts in the machine. I think we have some ghosts in the machine. Devin, get back here.
Hello everyone. I'm Devin.
Yes.
Also known as Bean.
And I'm Matthew. Don't question why I disappeared from the screen if you're watching this, but if you're not, then
oh no, they'll understand why I said ghosts. We had a ghost appear that took over your essence for a few seconds there.
Yeah, what?
Yeah, a ghost came out of nowhere and took over your screen.
Wait, what actually happened?
I think her name's Heidi.
Wait, what?
I don't know how to explain. A ghost named Heidi somehow took over your screen and you switched over and your screen name became Matthew, and then there was a fourth person in the call that had your name and your name became Heidi. It was very strange. Don't know what to say.
But what happened with me when I disappeared?
You technically didn't disappear from our view. You basically like shifted positions in the thing, and then a Heidi appeared on a phone camera. And then that screen went blank. And then you appeared again.
Yep.
A ghost named Heidi appeared. Yeah. Anyways, that doesn't matter. Sorry for the weird interruption, I guess. Yeah. Huh. I don't know what happened there. I guess I'll just jump into the podcast, so we'll move forward. We have several things coming up the show today. We're going to be discussing what we've been doing over the past week. Then we'll be talking about trailers. We have 3 trailers to talk about. We'll be looking at trailers for Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, Abriss, and Forgive Me, Father. All fairly interesting. Well, you'll see what I mean.
I wouldn't say all.
Oh, well, yeah, that's why I kind of stopped myself. Then we'll be moving on to host topics, or as I like to call the filler segment, where I say, do we have host topics? And then people say no. Then we'll be moving on to the news. We have several pieces of news today. We'll be talking about the newly revealed Monkey Island game, as well as the Max Payne remake, and some stuff regarding Activision Blizzard converting game testers into full-time employees. Me saying that kind of covers a lot of what the news is, but whatever. We'll try and go in more depth about it. Yeah. Then shameless self-promotion at the end of the show. So without further ado, let's get right into this. Matthew, why don't you tell us what we've been up to this week, or small talk? Either works.
Writing a game system. And watching One Piece.
I see.
and playing Dungeons and Dragons. I don't think I played a single video game this week.
All right.
In fact, this might actually be the first time No. That would be physically impossible. This is like... I haven't turned this computer on many times this week.
I see. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
All right, then. Is that it? Then?
The party is even more... Not really. But a bunch of stuff happened in one game, and another game just kind of moved forward slightly.
All right.
Because they're really slow as a party.
We've heard this before.
Yeah. But you know...
All right then. So is that it for you in terms of what you've done, or what have you?
Yeah.
All right. Devin.
Oh wait, actually,
Oh,
I did figure out what the lesser version of the Leont, which is the new name for my weight measurement system that I'm creating for a game system. Shut up. Is there's Passel, then Leont, then Carts.
all right. So you're creating an entirely new system for weight measurement. Fuck the imperial and metric system. Who needs them?
Yep. But I'm using the Imperial for measurement.
I'm using the Lacarte system.
No.
All right.
Anyway.
All right then. That is ridiculous. And
No,
that is all I have to say.
It's easy. 1 Leont, 3 Leont equals 8 pounds. 13.3. I believe it's 13.3 Passel equal 1 pound.
I can't wait for you to try and...
No, that doesn't sound right.
I can't wait for you to try and give metrics for both the metric and imperial system.
No, you'll just have to translate it again.
It's like, let me convert this twice over.
Nope.
All right then.
I'm only converting it into pounds so that I know so that I'm not making things way too heavy or way too light.
All right.
Mostly way too light. Until I get the hang of my own measurement system, I'm gonna be doing this for a while. But I'm getting better at guesstimating.
I don't
Either way.
Don't. I just
The idea is that Leont is smaller numbers and is easier to write on a character sheet.
How are your character sheets the size of Post-it notes?
No.
All right, I'm going to assume because there was no explanation that no, they're not the size of Post-it notes, but they are relatively small.
But 40 Passel equals
Oh my goodness.
3 Leont.
All right. I don't know what to say about your made up weight system.
All weight systems are made up technically.
I mean, I guess
I'm still
but,
binding it to reality. So
yeah, whatever.
I'm
Devin,
just
what have
making
you
up my
been
own
doing
words
this week?
and measurements.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
what have
not
you been doing
complicated.
this week? Please.
Well, I think I played a little bit of that game that we talked about last time.
Super hot.
Yeah, super hot. I actually honestly thought super hot was spelled super and then HAWT.
Hot.
Yeah, because I thought it sounded cooler. And then looking at me like super hot. Oh, I thought it was super howit.
Super howitzer.
Yeah, it just sounded more creative to me, but nah.
All right then.
Because hot has very little to do with what it is, unless the secret story of the game is that everything's actually on fire.
No, the
something.
game is super hot.
Something like that.
Yeah.
No. So
all right then.
basically, what I've been doing recently is I've been playing Minecraft. That's basically it. And I haven't even been playing that much Minecraft because I've been doing a lot of animation and writing and traveling. Have I traveled? I did some traveling, a little bit of traveling. And like I went to the grocery store.
What? It was to the drugstore?
Grocery store.
Grocery store.
And I think I went to your house to get my bike this week. I think that was this week.
Pretty sure that was last week.
Oh, okay.
Not that I would remember.
I got sick. That's what happened, basically.
And
I've been doing little Minecraft edits and stuff, and it's been fun. I don't know. Not much. I haven't done much except for a lot of editing.
All right then.
I've kept up with. Here's the thing. I haven't fallen behind on anything, and I've been accelerating. So I've been writing a ton. I've been doing some gaming videos and some stuff on the side, and then editing a main project very consistently and focusedly because I really enjoy doing it. And so I feel very happy and fine right now. I feel very fulfilled.
Good. It's a good thing to feel. It's good to feel. That's a mouthful.
Oh.
It's good to feel fulfilled in your day to day.
Yep.
Words are just frustrating to say. That's what I've come to the that's what I've come to the conclusion to, is that words are just frustrating. That's all they are. Yes. That is definitely the only purpose of words. It is to frustrate me specifically.
So yeah, I'm trying to think, and I'm like, no, I haven't really done anything except those few things because I've been very focused on them. But I haven't been like over focused because that's a lot of things. I've still been doing a lot of stuff. Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Minecraft. I tried to get into Starbound, but I decided to watch a tutorial beforehand, and they were like, and then you'll do this thing, and then you'll do that thing, and then like 5 minutes later, and so you land on the planet. I'm like, it takes like 20 minutes to land on the planet.
Well, I mean, the like it's semi more story driven because it's like the race you play greatly affects the story you go through.
Okay.
Like depending on your race, it greatly affects the story you go through.
Speaking of race, I have a rant on Arendir.
All right.
So in the Lord of the Rings new reboot thing that they're doing,
there's a new
made Lego.
Wait, what? There's a reboot of Lord of the Rings?
Rings of Power, not reboot, but like new mess. The thing they're doing. I actually have confidence that some of it is going to be well done.
Is it like a new book? Like, what is it?
No, the new show. Amazon's doing a new show.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, okay. Amazon's doing a new show.
I don't follow television, really.
That's fair. And in that new show, in the trailer for it, they announced a black elf character, which some people were like, wait, you can't have a black elf. Tolkien never said that elves were black. And I said, well, no, obviously he's an elf from another area. And that actually is really cool. They're expanding on the lore, and they're giving us more elves from far off lands. That's actually really cool.
Because it'd be a good introduction to the old world.
Yeah, because Tolkien's world, if you look at a map, Tolkien's world is huge. And this is kind of like the Europe area. So of course there's an African-ish area and a Chinese-ish area and like an Asian-ish area. Like there's an east, there's a far east, there's a south. There might even there might even be a mysterious American continent somewhere, although that's not on any of the maps, I don't think. And so obviously, if the sun works the same way, then there'll be darker skinned people in the center, like the hotter hotter parts of the continent.
Isn't it Middle Earth because it's literally like the middle continent?
Probably. Maybe. Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like
the middle of the Earth. It's a round, flat Earth. And then
yes. I mean, I
Sauron
don't
did some
know
math
that
and he placed
personally.
himself in the very center of the circle.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know a lot about the lore of Lord of the Rings because I've never like read the Silmarillion or done anything in that regard. So it's like I don't know a lot of the lore to Lord of the Rings, but you know.
So here's the thing. Ready? He's
All
actually
right.
Legolas's. I mean, he's not actually Legolas's father, but he might as well be Legolas's father, or cousin, or brother.
All right.
Which doesn't make sense
Why?
because they wanted to cast a black character as a Sylvan elf, a black actor as a Sylvan elf, and
Yes, a black
God damn it, he's a
character.
black character.
They wanted to cast a
character.
black character as a white actor. Clearly.
Yeah, no. But the thing is, you can't just do that. Like, you can have a black character in Lord of the Rings, and then if people are like, "Oh, but you can't have a black people in Lord of the Rings," it's like, well, no, you can, dumb. Like, don't just Lord of the Rings isn't just white people. Medieval Ages wasn't just white people. They just were kind of rare.
Aren't there like
half the people in Middle Earth were like black and Asian and other races? That'd be a little bit weird.
Isn't there like I said, I don't know the full lore of the Lord of the Rings, but isn't there like a canon southern continent that has like a race of human, like dark-skinned humans?
Yes. Yes.
I'm fairly certain that's the case. Like I'm just that's like just what I've gauged from certain things. It's like, you know.
I would assume because Tolkien was so focused on realism that if he had a southern continent and it was an equatorial continent, it would have darker skinned people. Because even like Spanish are darker skinned than Northern Europeans.
Yeah, the Spaniards.
Yeah, they're darker skinned, and then the Southern Spaniards are darker skinned. They're not like a lot darker, but it's a little bit darker. And then the Moors are darker, and you keep going south, and it's darker skinned people because that's the sun.
Yeah, that's how the sun works.
He would have looked at that, but it annoys me that the writers didn't really think about it and were just like, we want to have Sylvan elf person, so Legolas is now black in canon.
Well,
because he's related directly.
Well, okay, so
black person, so he's either black or mixed.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like technically,
but it's a weird adjustment to canon.
Yeah, I suppose. Like I suppose I don't.
Unnecessary. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The kind of thing that just bothers me a little bit because it's the kind of thing they could have had a correct stance on it. Like they could have been in the right, not rather than changing an old like classic story offensively without really thinking about it.
Well, here's the thing.
Brought it out and made a new race of people, which would have been cool.
This is the first time I've heard of the new Lord of the Rings series. And to be perfectly honest, my first thought when I heard it, I was like, well, this is for money.
Oh, of course.
The people writing this do not care about Lord of the Rings, nor do they care about J.R.R. Tolkien's history or lore. They just are like, okay, here's the quota. We need a black character. We're going to make him related to Legolas to make him more important, even though if you think about it, that's kind of insulting to black people because we're giving them the leftovers instead of creating new characters that they might actually enjoy.
Well, Aaron, the only way for a black character to stand on his or her own is if they're connected to a white character.
Exactly. It's like, yes, this is Legolas's ancient cousin.
The writers are just...
This is Legolas's ancient cousin. He's just as amazing as Legolas, so Legolas will not appear in this at all.
Yeah.
So have him instead. Anyways,
I mean, the other possibility is that the writers and casting directors are actually just colorblind, and they forgot that elves were white skinned, and they were like, okay, oh well, oops.
Doesn't really matter.
Possible. I think they're just not very creative.
I mean, this will probably make lots of money and then never have a second season if every other reboot is to go by.
Or Tolkien fans will abandon it, and most people will look at it and go, that was a poorly written show. That's what Lord of the Rings is?
I mean, well, just take one look at the live action Cowboy Bebop. It's like Cowboy Bebop fans hate watched it and then abandoned it, and it never got a second season because yes, it got a lot of viewership, but it never got return viewership, so it died after it ended.
Yeah,
it was not
possibly
successful.
Write a show that bad, right? And direct and then edit and be like, I am confident in this product. We're gonna have insane scenes in it that will make the average person who looks at them go, what am I looking at? Why are you showing me this? I hate it. And then Cowboy Bebop fans will scream.
Yeah, fans in general do that.
No, I'm talking about the scene where Ed is, I don't know if you've seen the meme, but Ed.
No, I've seen, it's at the very end. It's literally just like it's a teaser / reference for the audience.
So bad.
It is really bad
so
because it's impossible to make Ed a live action character without it being extremely annoying and terrible.
Well, I guess if you adapted her, if you adapted very carefully, you could do it.
Yeah, but like the whole thing,
you got a really, really good actor for her.
Yeah, the whole thing with Ed is that she is a sort of off the wall character that is like tenuously connected to the rest of the group and just does her own thing, and then she just leaves on her own. She's just this weird little kid that like sort of hangs out with them after they find her. I don't know. Like
genius too.
Oh yeah, that too. I don't know. It's it's a thing. I mean, like, and yes, I do think you perhaps could have done it. I feel like they may have or should have gotten maybe, I don't know, a teen actor instead of a child actor. Nothing against child actors, but like, it's a lot of hard work and a lot of them are not very good.
Well, I think maybe I think you're probably right that it's nearly impossible to do that character justice.
Yeah, like if you got
maybe if they did a different aesthetic, like the old school, like rather than trying to do it in the new way, trying to copy off of the old style of doing shows.
Mm-hmm.
So like with sets that you could look at and you clearly see their sets, like the Dancing in the Rain type of stuff, that kind of style.
Yeah.
Hold on, you just would have had to change completely the way Cowboy Bebop is done, and
I mean, it technically could have worked,
or she could have been an animated character.
Wow, what a
in the show.
What an interesting idea you've just presented.
Nothing against the actress, though.
I mean, I don't necessarily have anything against any of the people that worked on it. It's just bad.
Yep.
It's a bad product, and it died the moment it ended because everybody binged. The fans of Cowboy Bebop hate watched it, and then the people that actually kind of enjoyed it watched it through, and everybody has forgotten about it, and it died after it ended because everybody just stopped talking about it, and it no longer has an audience. Which is kind of Netflix's whole deal, to be perfectly honest. Just dump a whole show and then it has no audience, no staying power. It just stops existing.
I mean, speaking of that, have you heard of the new Halo show?
Yes, I've seen some things from it. It seems odd.
The only thing I've heard about it is that apparently there's a scene where someone is captured and they threaten that, and they're asked to say something on camera, and they threaten to say something else on camera. And so the person's like, oh no, you're going to say something else. Okay, you suddenly have leverage over us. We'll listen to you. And it's like, well, what?
That doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. They're a prisoner.
Mm-hmm. All right. I mean, it doesn't outdo
there's also some helmet memes.
A big spotted Labrador drop kicking a woman off a cliff to her death. Still pretty dumb. I think for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Cruella. I feel like that will go down in history, for me at least, as one of the stupidest things I've ever seen in film history.
That was amazing, though.
So stupid. It doesn't even make sense momentum-wise. The dog doesn't go over with her. He literally jumps off of her chest to not make himself go over. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways. So stupid.
It's so funny. It's just like a ninja kid. Just like a ninja.
Yeah, it's all like, man, I don't need to go on. We've already gotten slightly off track, but I could go on a rant about that.
Like jumps on her, wiggles, and then jumps back. She just goes.
Yeah, it's also the music they play during that scene makes no sense. It's supposed to be this tense slow motion scene of this woman dying, and it has like this weird.
I know if they'd been trying for a funny scene, it would have been so much better. But they just didn't seem to understand how momentum worked.
No, they did not. They thought dogs could drop kick people. God. So stupid. Anyways, back on topic now that we haven't really gotten off topic, but we've done the side shoot of talking about television, or I guess streaming services. I mean, it's still television, I guess. We haven't really come up with a new name for it, so. Anyways, that's what you've been doing this week. You mentioned oh, that's right. You mentioned you had a rant regarding the topic you brought up on video for people to watch. Did you mention that?
I did rant about it. I ranted about it in a Minecraft video, though.
All right, then.
Because I think it's insulting to the idea of what different races are. You can't just throw different people of different races together in a world as realistic as Tolkien and expect it to just be like, yeah, that's normal. Instead, it's not canon anymore, because that's not how genetics work. That's not how genetics work. That's not how races work. Unless races just don't matter and don't exist, which is silly. There's thousands of them. They don't matter a ton, but they exist. Like, you are a different race than me because you're made up of a different ethnic race, ethnic groups.
I guess, but I have a different ethnic background.
Yeah, but the difference is
genetically speaking.
Yeah, and like in modern America, most people fall into like class cultures different rather than like race cultures. Classes.
I suppose.
How much money you have and who you know is more deterministic of where you land. That's what I'm saying.
What?
Nothing. Like in the past there were like ethno groups. Like I'm not even talking about like not that far ago, but like maybe 50 years ago, 60 years ago, in the US, there was like the Polish ethnic group.
Well,
and
I know
the Italian ethnic group, which nowadays
I know. Like there was discrimination against Irish. They're very they're very not famous, I guess, but there's definitely images of like signs outside of restaurants that say like no Irish allowed, no, like,
because people are stupid.
Yes, people are stupid. I'm not like, whatever. I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
No, your people were tortured by the English for thousands of years, hundreds of thousands.
I'm not sure.
Thousands of revolts. Every day there was another revolt that we had to crush. What? Speaking as a descendant of English nobility, I had to crush your people.
Don't worry, they'll crush themselves because I'm both Scottish and Irish.
Not sure what you're referencing here.
The Scottish and Irish At least in modern
Oh,
times, the Scottish and Irish don't have a great relationship with each other because they consider themselves different people, but they live on the same continent. And Scotland and Ireland are like different places, you know.
Really?
Yeah, they're two different.
Wait. No. Ireland's here. Scotland's here. Water.
Don't they exist on the same continent?
They live on islands. Ireland is an island. Great Britain is an island. It's like a big old island right here. And Ireland's over here. And North Ireland is part of Ireland. It's like right up here. And the Scotland, like the north of Great Britain, I think. It's divided by Hadrian's Wall, which is this little line along here.
I didn't take geography. I never even went to school.
Clearly, because you know, when I was younger, for the longest time I thought Britain or the English and the French lived on the same continent and fought a war like on a border, and because it makes sense. There's so many wars that they fought, right? So of course they had to have had a border between them, and it's like no, they actually had this big freaking ocean between them. This huge body of water, the size of like Lake Michigan.
Honestly, I should probably know more about geography because I literally have throughout my life had maps of the world in my house that I could read every day when I woke up. I probably should know more about geography. Apparently, I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, apparently.
But hey, you know what? That explains a lot considering what I'm doing now. Only idiots end up where I am.
Okay, that's a little bit too self-depreciating.
You can't even say the word.
I can say the word self-depreciating.
Depreciating?
Depreciating. Combination of depreciating and depression.
There's already a word. It's deprecating. Self-deprecating.
Combination of deprecation and depression. Whatever I said.
Whatever.
Self-depreciating.
All right, I'll self-depreciate all I like, sir. Anyways. Okay. So that's all you did this week?
That is wow, that was what we were talking about, wasn't it? Oh my god.
Yes, we got sidetracked massively. Now now whoever watches this is just gonna get really bored and angry at our opinions.
No. They're a wonderful, smart person who knows that we are right about these things, like how genetics work.
Yes,
and how
that's
elf,
a good.
This elf in this show.
Yes, that's a good way to sway them.
Yet.
Just tell them
related to Legolas.
That's a good way to sway them. Just tell them that you're right.
Yeah, actually, no. I'll sway them with a better story. So if you disagree with me, then you are actually literally Genghis Khan. If you disagree with my opinion about an elf.
I don't think that tracks.
No, your viewership is literally
statistically speaking, there is definitely people like descendants of Genghis Khan are numerous.
I know, but they are literally Genghis Khan running around murdering hundreds of thousands of people with their armies, literally doing that right now as we speak. Your viewership is horrible, Aaron.
No, go away. Go away with your weirdness.
On the plus side, they did end up uniting like on the largest empire in all of history. So I mean, your viewership is pretty impressive.
I don't even.
Okay, I'll shut up. We can move on to the next.
Sometimes I'm not a good
entertainer.
Can't even say the word improv.
Oh,
that's what I was trying to say. It doesn't matter.
Improvisationist. That's the word you're looking for.
Stop adding extra layers to words.
No, improvisationist is actually the word. Like an improv performer is a little bit wordy, but like
improv artist.
No, that's improv artist. That also works.
It's like that. It's the word. Whatever. I'm gonna take a drink of water and then we'll move on to the next subject.
Improviser.
No, I should drink some of that too.
Improviser as well.
All right, so
improviser
going to assume that both of you have made your peace with talking about the week, and we can move on to trailers. All right, so now that whatever the hell that was is out of the way, Welcome to trailers. So the first trailer we'll be talking about is the launch trailer for the Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game that
is already out.
Yeah, well, it's the launch trailer. As if you're watching this, it's already come out. It's released like well, it launched.
Thousands of people have already beaten it.
I wouldn't. Yeah, it literally launched like a couple of days ago. Getting distracted. What was I going to say? Damn it, I lost my train of thought.
Someone on Earth was the
yes. I wouldn't be surprised if multiple people have already beaten it, because Lego games are not difficult, nor are they particularly long.
There is a specific single person on Earth who beat it 100% for the first time. Like they've beaten that, other than playtesters. Forget playtesters; they don't exist. One the officially launched
playtesters
game.
Don't. Sure. Yes, you are technically correct.
Yeah.
Anyways,
that person exists.
Huh?
We will never know their name though.
If you're that person, reach out to us.
Yeah.
Put a comment saying you're the one. You were the first one to beat Lego Star Wars. Anyways, moving on. Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Not The Force Awakens. The Skywalker Saga.
Yeah.
There's so many God, there's so many subtext to Star Wars at this point. Anyways, so yes, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, the ultimate Lego Star Wars game, combining all 9 of the Star Wars films into one neat Lego package. Also the most, at least from what I've seen, the most complex Lego game, at least as far as the licensed ones that I've seen. And I say complex because gameplay wise, it's a complete different thing from what I've seen Lego games be. The camera isn't fixed anymore. It's, it has this over the shoulder camera that's following your character. It has this beat 'em up style combat that actually has a combo system by the looks of it, and more enemies have health bars. It's they're more
that's
complex. Awesome. Enemies have health bars. There's more complex abilities and attacks you can do. The Force now seems more freeform, so you can just pick up objects and throw it at people, which is always fun. I will say one odd thing is that obviously this game has voice acting in it, because it's not the first Lego game that has voice acting. This is a thing that's been the case for a while. But one strange thing about the voice acting to me is it seems to be a weird mixture of just movie lines, just taken from the movies themselves, and also just I don't know if it's just for the trailer or not, but they got actors to do imitation. What are they called? Impressionists. They got they got actors to do impressions of some of the characters, specifically Luke and Han don't really sound like either of their actors, which isn't a bad thing, but I think it's just kind of, what'd you say?
They got them to say the exact same line.
Yeah, I just think it's odd because if you take the Lord of the Rings game, they literally just took the lines straight from the movie. They literally just took the ADR from the movie and put it in the game.
Yeah, and it didn't work great.
It was hilarious though. It had these serious, crazy voice lines as Lego people are. It was amazing. It worked really well.
Yeah, I disagree.
Anyway, you can disagree with me if you want, but personally, I just think it's odd that they did that instead of just taking the audio.
It might have been an expense thing.
I suppose that's possible. There's also the trailer also, or what'd you say?
If it was the difference of like $100 million in licensing fees, or even like $10 million in licensing fees, I could see them doing that, being like, you know what, we'll just hire some voice actors to repeat these lines because they can do really good impressions and it'll be close enough, and we don't need to get permission to use the exact audio files from all these movies.
That's true. I mean, it would definitely be cheaper because you don't have to like license out anything. But I mean, it's whatever. I just thought it was an odd choice because that's something they haven't done before, as far as I'm aware. Like, even
I really like the voice acting in the original one. That was really good.
You're talking about the beeps and boops, the
I'm
grunts.
talking about the grunts there.
Well, lucky for you, because there is a grunt option.
Grunt mode.
There is an option for no dialogue at all and just grunts. That was a selling point of this game.
I wonder if the animation changes.
Maybe. Animation wise, pretty on point. Very. What'd you say?
Sharp. I said it's very sharp.
Yeah,
very sharp.
Very sharp.
Glittery.
Shiny.
Adjective.
Very adjective.
You look very adjective today.
Yes. What was I going to say? Why did I bring up the? God damn it! I lost my train of thought again.
I'm sorry. I haven't eaten today.
It's not your fault. It's just my brain. Oh God. What was I well, okay. So the Skywalker Saga. Oh, comedy. That's what I was going to bring up. So the comedy seems pretty, I suppose, on point. Like, comedy is subjective, but it seems pretty on point and standard for Lego game affairs. You have stuff like Ewoks bringing out boom boxes out of their big mech droids and stuff like that. There's also some references to classic lines and memes, such as Obi-Wan saying hello there, which is, everybody's done memes of that. Hello there to Grievous and all that. It does highlight that. Some actually, I will say one joke that I did actually find funny in the trailer personally is Rey's lightsaber breaking off when she jumps over Ben's fighter craft. Instead of cutting through it, the lightsaber just comes off.
Yes, that's much better than what I heard actually happened.
I mean, she takes out the thing in the film, from what I remember.
Yeah, they should have just had the lightsaber blade pop off.
I mean, to be fair, he did speed at her while she was holding a lightsaber. And didn't shoot at her. And then decided to drive his spaceship into her lightsaber. So, I don't think it was even Rey doing anything in that scene.
Listen, it was just meant for a cool trailer shot.
Yep. Which is really bad writing.
I mean, that's J.J. Abrams for you.
That's fair. Oh yeah, I forgot what movie that was from. Yeah, that was really bad writing.
The Rise of Skywalker was the 9th film.
Yeah.
But yeah, gameplay wise, it looks good. It looks fun. I guess your standard Lego affair, but it's more complex this time, as I've already
got a bunch of when did the first game come out? Like 2007 or something? 2009?
The first Lego Star Wars game. Something like that.
Let me think. 2007. Yeah, I looked it up.
Yeah, 2007 or so.
So that was like, you're gonna have a lot of 30-year-olds, 20 and 30-year-olds jumping on and playing this game and having a lot of fun.
I mean, yeah, that's the fan base in a weird way that Lego has garnered.
Yep.
Over the years, because that's the other thing, is that there's a lot of properties that Lego has made games for that are like more like, I'm not going to make a claim of whether or not Star Wars is a child's, a kid's film or not, but Like stuff like Batman is specifically like Batman is usually more adult oriented. It can have childish stuff, but you know,
Yeah,
it's
Adult
supposed to be more serious and you know, stuff like that. So the fact that they made Lego Batman stuff, and I'm not saying it, you know, it's bad. It's just, you know, the fan bases for these things are like generally older.
Yeah,
You know
like
what I mean?
Jurassic Park.
Sure. I mean, well, Jurassic, when that game came out, it was about Jurassic World, and Jurassic Park has at that point had been a film for like close to 30 years.
Yeah.
So, you know. Regardless. Oh yes, that is the other. It doesn't show it in the trailer, but one of the other main sort of selling points of the game is that it's sort of not open world per se, but it's more like it's much more open than other Lego games. It's not quite open world, but you have the ability to just go between a bunch of different planets and just explore them at your leisure. In the it's like it was in one of the older trailers that showed off that you could just hop between planets at your whim, and it was a lot of stuff to do. But yeah, looks rather good, I suppose.
Do you have anything else to say about it?
Well, I mean, both of you said you looked at this. What anything for say about you guys or what have you?
Well, not really. I'm
All
excited
right.
that it's made. I probably won't watch people play it because I'm not particularly interested, but I might watch like a clip montage because I want to see some of the jokes they make.
All right.
Maybe I'll watch some videos talking about the differences between it and the original. Yeah. There is a game in here that I actually think I might watch some playthroughs of.
Really? All right. You'll have to tell me which one when we get to it.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess what about you, Matthew?
Lego, like, that is what Matthew says. It says Lego.
Yes, I like Lego games.
I might get this game. I might get 3 of this game. 1 for my Switch, 1 for my other Switch, 1
No,
for my computer, 1 for my other computer,
no,
1 to throw out of a window.
that's excessive.
3.
Why would I throw?
It is coming on PC.
Explain to me why I would throw a computer out a window.
No, you're throwing the game out of the window.
It's for the backyard.
Yeah, it's for the backyard.
It's to make it more look aesthetic.
Or 1 to give away. One to give away.
No.
1 for your computer, 1 for your second computer, 1 for your Switch, 1 for the backyard, 1 for Aaron, 1 to give away, another 1 to give away, and then a 4th 1 to give away.
No, I was just thinking of buying it on Steam.
That is a
all
very
right.
efficient. I mean, you already have like 1 million games on Steam. Are you sure you need another one?
The average
Yes.
Steam user says yes.
Okay, that's not how you should judge things. If everyone is doing something stupid and the average person is doing something stupid.
I don't have 1 million games on Steam either by technical terms. 1 million is a lot.
1 million is a
All
lot.
right, we're not
Wow.
going to go into semantics with you on this. You got anything to
Why
say
not?
about
It's so
this
much
game?
fun. I really want to see if the cutscenes change between mumble and not mumble.
Well, I mean, I think it's just kind of like I don't know what the cutscenes would change. They would just
might
be
change something, I don't know.
mumbling dialogue instead of, you know.
They might change things. I don't actually know.
I don't know.
Because there are things you could change. Mostly for clarification.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Because mumbling is the clearest tongue.
Yes,
Ah.
very much so.
What am I talking about?
I don't know.
Tell me what I was just talking about.
I don't know.
Exactly.
All right.
Also, Mumbo mode's an automatic extra that you get.
Well, yeah, it's literally just
I
a thing you
Googled it.
can turn on in the options. But anything else want to say? Things to talk about?
I'm very curious about it. Hopefully, it'll make the future.
Glad you're curious about it.
Hopefully, it'll make the sequel trilogy bearable.
Well, yes. Well, I mean,
if anyone can, Lego can.
I suppose.
Because it's ridiculous enough for it.
Yeah.
Come on, space horses.
Two.
I mean, that sounds like something you would have in a Lego game.
Two
already.
types of space horses, actually.
Yeah, I'm talking about the ones that were on the ship.
Space horses riding the ship. Yes.
That has to be the dumbest thing ever. A thing that you should only ever see in a Lego game or a not serious movie. And not Star Wars.
I suppose.
Why space horses?
Because
also, why were the ships underground fully crewed?
Because they're not electronic?
But then why were the ships underground fully crewed?
Because the Emperor mastered cloning technology.
And why did the Emperor choose to raise them up when Kylo could not see them?
Yeah, he could have risen them up while Kylo was outside.
Because he's an idiot.
And why didn't he have them go into space where their shields function?
Like I said, he's an idiot. He killed himself 3 times with lightning.
That is actually very true. He did. It's very consistent.
Lightning, man, it just doesn't work for him. First, it disfigured him beyond all belief.
Oh my god.
Then it basically killed him a second time because he was so distracted by Luke he didn't notice Vader trying to kill him. Then he did the same thing that he did against Mace Windu and just died.
He has become possibly one of the dumbest antagonists ever.
However, on the plus side, teleportation exists in Star Wars now.
Does it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it actually exists.
Interstellar force teleportation.
Yes, force teleportation. Where
when
you
did
can
that
throw
happen?
objects.
The sequel trilogy. When do you think?
For one thing, it was introduced by what's his name? What is his name? Ryan
what
Johnson.
Are you talking about?
It was introduced by Ryan Johnson when Rey was able to teleport across dimensions, across space. When Rey and Kylo were talking, they were able to kind of send objects across.
Oh, that
vaguely. It was hinted at. So it wasn't introduced completely, and it wasn't introduced explicitly, but it was just vaguely hinted at this is possible. And J.J. Abrams took that and ran with it and said, all right, they can throw objects across, and they can also teleport lightsabers across at will. And so now that's how it works. And so you can just teleport now.
And fight.
I really hope that the Lego games do something with that mechanic, because it could be really interesting.
And out of the thousands and thousands of years the Jedi's had training, they never thought of it. They never.
Even though I think one Jedi actually did figure out force healing before the movies.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the concepts in the sequel trilogy existed. It was just part of the expanded universe that is now the Legends. The expanded universe that Disney said not canon anymore and is now classified as Legends. And then there's the new expanded universe stuff that's coming out.
The bad one.
Yeah, I don't know. Some of it might be good. Mandalorian is apparently pretty good. Let me
rephrase that. The one that didn't do justice to Luke Skywalker's character arc, or Princess Leia's character arc, or what's his name's character arc, Han Solo's character arc. The one that disrespected our heroes. That's the timeline that's not real. That's the made up one.
Right.
We have the Legend timeline and we have the Infamous timeline.
Okay.
Magical.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this before, but
to be fair, original canon had Luke making a nonsensical plan in order to save Leia at the end of the third movie, at the beginning of the third movie. So,
well, he
watch a breakdown.
Initially sent his droids there, and then he had to come there himself.
Yes. Watch a breakdown of Luke's plan and / Leia's plan in that show, in that episode, in that beginning.
She got caught because she's an idiot.
Yes, their plan didn't make a lot of sense, and they were idiots.
They were trying to save Han Solo.
Yes, and it was really funny. If you listen to someone break it down, it's
all right then.
It's not horrible. It doesn't ruin the movie, but it's funny. It's like the Joker. You know the Joker in Dark Knight? You know his plan?
No, I don't.
In order for his plan to actually work and make sense, he has to be able to see the future. Because none of what he does lines up with what's going to happen unless he can see the future, which is weird. But you don't really think about it when you're watching the movie because it's such a well done movie. It's kind of like that with Star Wars.
Well,
I mean, make up for the flaws in the writing.
I'm not saying he has to look in the future, but it's like the Joker's all about chaos. Yeah. Nothing he does is supposed to make sense to at least some degree.
Clearly planned certain things because they all lined up perfectly. But the only way for them to do that is if certain things have happened. Certain things he had no control over happened. So he predicted that chaos was going to happen in the way he wanted it to.
All right then.
I've watched a breakdown and it made sense when I was watching it, so I'm assuming that it was right.
Looks like
good way to keep your information.
Thing is actually a pre-existing thing.
The force teleporting thing? What?
I'm not sure about the teleporting part, but the force communication part.
I mean,
and some Sith could actually teleport.
Oh, frick. Okay.
Well, here's the thing.
Wait.
Also, I'd like to point out
that the Sith actually won. In the end, Darth Plagueis was actually the good guy, and Sith Kylo Ren and Sith Rey beat him with his own lightning. The Jedi were finally killed when Darth Plagueis was killed because actually she was the Sith the whole time because she was his daughter, granddaughter, whatever. That's so sad. Yeah.
I don't even know, man.
Not Darth Plagueis.
I don't have energy for that.
He's Darth Sidious.
Anyways,
right, yes, that's what I meant. Okay, sorry. Yes.
Just I don't know. Anyways, in response to Matthew's comment about the sequels, is that I've said this before, but personally, I don't hate the sequels, nor do I hate the prequels, because I am the man who cannot hate Star Wars. That is that's my claim to fame. Oh, what are you famous for? It's like, I can't hate Star Wars physically. It's physically impossible for me to hate Star Wars in any way.
I don't hate Star Wars either. I don't hate anything.
I don't think that's possible, but whatever. Anyways,
accept my son. No, just
getting back. It's depressioning. The self, whatever you said.
Deprecate. Yeah, it's all. Oh no. Yeah, I can't remember.
Anyways, getting back to Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. Yes, combining. I already said everything about it pretty much. The one major thing I wanted to bring up, aside from the fact that it's out on all of the consoles and PC, is that something I've seen in the game itself, and so. First of all, I just want to put this. There's a deluxe edition of the game that includes character collection bundles, which has people like Mondo and Baby Yoda, or the whatever his name is, Grigu. What was his name?
What?
The baby. So there's a character. Okay, essentially, there's a deluxe edition that includes characters from other Star Wars media stuff that is not just the films. So you can have Mondo from The Mandalorian and the baby that I can't remember the name of, Grogu. Was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
The Baby Yoda. Also included in this deluxe edition is a Luke Skywalker drinking blue milk. So I just want to point out they're giving away a Skywalker minifigure, so you can own a Skywalker minifigure with some blue milk. I think we all know what that's referencing.
Because that's a scene everyone loves.
It's in the game too. I've literally seen like Luke in the game just drinking blue milk. I've seen it in the game. It happens in the game. Not the actual scene, but like that character of Luke. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's just something I wanted to bring up because I think it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It looks good. I might probably pick it up whenever I have something to play it on or money. I have
like
both
$50.
of those. Okay, I technically have both of those things. I just have other things going on.
Waste your money. Spend your money on valuable games.
Valuable to me. Anyways,
Valuable games.
I think we've spent too much time on this. But yes, that was Skywalker, Lego Skywalker Saga. Enjoy the game and enjoy the films. At your leisure, I suppose. Anyways, moving on to the next trailer we have for Abriss, the official gameplay trailer. Abriss. Load, you piece of shit. There we go.
Well, that's not self-depreciating now.
So Abriss is a a little dry in the mouth. So Abriss is a well, to put it simply, it is a physics destruction puzzle-y game type deal. So the whole thing is that you God, stop repeating myself. The main thing of the game, the puzzle is that you have to destroy things and you build contraptions to destroy things. That shouldn't be hard. And you have a bunch of different options and materials. It's this sort of free-form puzzle game where you build contraptions to destroy something. To destroy things to beat the level. And it's physics-based, and it has a very nice-looking destruction engine. It looks like it's using voxels, if I had to take a wild guess. I don't know. It looks like it's using voxels because of the aesthetic of the game, but it has a very nice dynamic destruction engine that looks very beautiful in motion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks pretty.
Excuse me. Anything to say about it, either of you?
I
do actually.
Okay.
Looks fine.
It looks like a very well done game, and if the puzzles are interesting, then they'll be a lot of fun. I have absolutely no interest in this game aside from it's pretty. Wow, I'm impressed that they did that with the graphics. But that's just because that's not the kind of game I like playing.
That's fair.
Now. My dad would really like it though. My dad would think that it was pretty cool, and I would probably be like, "Oh my gosh, it's so cool," and then I would forget about it as soon as I stopped looking at it.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. This isn't like a new concept. I feel like at this point it's kind of like it's not standard, but like this particular game is not necessarily a new concept. There are games where you build something to destroy something, and that's kind of the whole puzzle. But in this particular case, it's completely 3D and has a very nice looking destruction engine. So it'll be satisfying for those looking for something satisfying. I'm sure this will, deliver that to you. It looks satisfying. But yeah, what about you, Matthew? I know you just did your standard but
Yep, looks fine.
all right then. But yeah, Abriss headed to PC sometime this year. I will say it kind of has this, I don't know, the art style and a sort of a art direction of the game is very like futurist, I suppose, is a good way of putting it. It's kind of like the description of the game says it's a Abriss, build destruction parts, target, unlock new parts, destroy more, and witness entropy at its worst in digital brutalist cityscapes. That's like the description of the game, that what it calls itself. So like it has this, I guess you could call it brutalist. It's just this sort of like digital, I don't know. I want to say punk of some kind, but it's, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it specifically, but it looks nice. I know that's a very simple way of looking at things sometimes, but you know, words are hard. That's the theme of this episode, is that words are hard. And yeah, I suppose I don't have much else to say about it myself. It looks like it would kill some time for me. I know that's kind of sounds like an insult, but it is one of those things where it's like, this is the type of game that I would definitely play through, maybe in like 1 or 2 sittings, and then maybe not go back to it per se, because you know, it's just it's a very simple concept, but like, you know, I'd probably load it up every now and then just to see destruction happen because it's fun looking and interesting. Anyways, moving on to our final trailer of the day, which is for the launch trailer for Forgive Me, Father. Now this is a comic book, comic book Lovecraftian horror FPS in the style of old school Doom.
Yep.
Those were a lot of words, but that is what it is. It is a old school style shooter, very much in the style of Doom, where everything is, you know, like 3D environments with like 2D enemies and hands and weapons and stuff. But it's in this like grim comic book art style. And when I say comic book, I mean like the really thick black lines on everything. Really thick black lines in this sort of dark Lovecraftian world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It looks very nice art style wise. It looks very good. All of the different weapons that get showcased. Yes.
Matthew, did you see the trailer? You did?
Yeah, it looks interesting. I don't have much more of a comment.
This is the game where I'm actually wanting to see the story, and I want to watch it, maybe not a full playthrough, but like pieces of a playthrough or like a condensed playthrough or something, because I want to see. Give me this. This is the aesthetic I like.
All right.
Fighting Cthulhu with a gun. I mean, I probably would like Doom too if Doom had a good story. I don't know if Doom has a good story. I don't know what.
Well, I'm not sure about okay. Doom 2016 actually does have a good story, but you can actively choose to ignore it because that's what the Doom guy would do. Doom guy doesn't care about the story. He's just here to kill aliens. Sorry, not aliens, demons. Doom guy is the best silent protagonist because he literally does not care about any of the politics or dumb stuff that happens in his world. He is just here to rip and tear until it's done.
I remember the Doom crossover with Hello Kitten, not Hello Kitten, Hello Road Walking.
Are you referring to Isabel from Animal Crossing?
Animal Crossing, thank you.
Fuzzy Town because they have the same, because they were released on the same day or what have you.
Yep.
Is that what it was? They have the same birthday? Is that why everybody was like crossing it over?
It was awesome.
I mean, it's weird, but it's also like an aesthetic I kind of like. Just the weirdness of it. But yeah. So that's sort of like, in terms of story, I don't know if any of the Dooms have like what you would call a good story. A lot of people said Doom 2016 had a good story if you paid attention to it. Like I said, you can just choose to ignore the whole story of the game because that's just what Doom Guy would do.
Yep.
But getting back to Forgive Me, Father, what I was saying before is that all the weapons and items that are showcased for you to attack people all look very interesting and unique. You have stuff like it looks like you light some kind of like fire or smudge stick type deal, and you just get a magical sword out of nowhere that you can just hammer people with. There's lots of different guns and weapons, and it has this sort of, well, I mean, a lot of Lovecraft stuff is very set in a specific period. You know, it's that like 1920s, it's that like 1910s, 1920s style era of like technology. Because Lovecraft is very much set in that era of time, you know?
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, it is a good I do like
alternate
the era.
histories and fighting monsters and
yeah, and killing all of the Lovecraftian horrors, such as the King in Red. Sorry, not the King in Red, the King in Yellow, which looks to be one of the bosses. Like literally just the King in Yellow is one of the bosses.
Before seeing there were tentacles and like purple stuff, and I thought it was just gonna be like a zombie survival game, like a Red Dead or something. Something like that, where it's like a very emotional story between these two characters, and that was the focus. And then there were some zombies in the background, and it's like, no, it looks like this horror game. And then it's like, wait, there's squid monsters. Wait, there's
You didn't immediately think Cthulhu?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that until the end of the trailer, and then it's like I had a journey of like, like, this is cool.
I thought of that when I saw the thumbnail.
I didn't see the thumbnail. I didn't look at the thumbnail.
Well, I mean, I kind of had a similar experience to Devin, where I was just like, I was going into the trailer with not too many expectations per se, but it's like, oh, Lovecraft, I see.
Yeah.
I do enjoy Lovecraft.
I do not think I would enjoy playing the game because it looks a little bit like terrifying.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but I think I would enjoy playing. I mean, watching someone play it.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that.
Probably gonna watch a review of it after oh my gosh, I'm checking my YouTube channel. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people who I'm subscribed to, who are all live streaming right now.
Damn.
To be fair, I'm subscribed to almost 800 people, so it's not.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever. But I will say the sort of
aesthetic.
So the sort of base story I can garner from the game itself is that your cousin.
Oh, sorry.
Or what?
Nothing.
Continue.
No. I was gonna say it's like Dark Souls, but in the real world with 2D graphics and guns.
Sure.
And no Estus flasks.
And nothing like Dark Souls.
It's exactly like Dark Souls with those slight tiny changes.
Sure.
And no story.
The main sort of story from what I can garner from the trailer is that your cousin asked you for help
because of monsters.
And you go to them, you don't find them in their apartment, what have you, and then you start killing people.
Okay.
I don't know. There's probably more to it than that, but at least from the trailer, it's like, okay, so your cousin needed help from your cousin needed. Sorry, what?
I think she was writing a letter. You can kind of see her fingers are in the right position to be writing. I know I analyzed this too close, but she's you can see like when she's holding the paper, she's writing, and then when he's holding the paper, his hand's in a different position. So he's like this, and she's like this.
Well, actually, like I think the reason the character switches from male to female is because
you're reading the letter. One of them's writing the letter, the other one's reading the letter.
Well, I suppose that's possible from the narrative standpoint, but I think the main reason it does that is to sort of like And it could be for any reason. It's like
Show
maybe
their
you're
connection.
right, but I think one
Show
of the
their
reasons is because you can just choose. You can choose at the start of the game whether or not you're a male or a
Yeah.
female.
That's kind of what I after thinking that it was a like writing versus reading, and then I thought, oh wait, no, maybe it's just the character options.
Mhm.
Although even cooler, what if you could switch between them?
I mean, it's possible.
Like there were two different people in different areas, and you ended up switching between them for their stories.
That is also completely possible.
Yeah, POV switching.
Possible.
I mean, if you've heard the old fantasy adage, if you're ever writing an epic fantasy, you got to have at least more than 3 POVs, or else it's not an actual epic fantasy.
Makes sense.
And if you're a new writer, you should probably learn how to write a single POV really well before you decide to write 7 or 8.
That also makes sense, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
Now, why would you do that?
I don't know. It's almost as though you should know what you're doing before you try to do more of the thing that you're doing.
Yeah,
You know
that's
how to cook before cooking for 1,000 people. You should know how to cook for one person before cooking for 1,000 people. You should know how to fix your life before you try to fix the world.
sure. That makes sense.
What
Excuse
if
me.
you've never written a book before, but you've DM'd a lot and can DM characters in multiple areas really
Oh,
well?
goodness.
Well, here's the thing. You should learn to write a book before you try to write a book series. Or before you write a book series.
And you can do dialogue well.
What?
And you can write dialogue well and choose to draw it.
Yeah.
Then you're probably an arrogant prick. I mean, sorry. Then you're probably... Hey, I didn't know you were using yourself as an insert.
I was making a joke.
Someone who thinks that their dialogue is written well is probably an arrogant...
Actually, I don't completely think my dialogue is written well. I'm constantly second guessing it. But everyone else says it's written well.
That is fair, because it is written really well.
So I just have to be like, well, I guess it's written well, but I think it would sound better like this, but maybe it'd sound better like this. I need to stop thinking about this.
However,
my gut.
your hooks could use some work.
What?
Your hooks could use some work. The hook is the part of the story that makes the audience go, I know why I should read this. I want to read this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to read more of it. And like the Batman movie is really, really good at its hooks because it has like thousands of them.
Yes.
And every other scene makes you want to see what happens next. And it's just so, it's like
I haven't actually
rubbing a shark
written
with your cheek. It's like,
if any stories.
I mean, well, D&D campaigns you generally don't like write out dialogue for.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about D&D campaigns.
I'm just saying, like you do write things in D&D campaigns, and you have story outlines and stuff for your players to go through, and you can write out dialogue for characters to say.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it's more or less just off the cuff.
Dialogue is a lot easier to write than it is to improvise. I'll say that much.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
One of them takes vocal cords, the other one takes your fingers.
sure. Yes.
Isn't the strongest muscle in the human body?
The brain.
No, it's not a muscle. It's a nerve cluster.
Tell that to not Pictionary. What is it called?
Oh no!
The game that is
Trivial Pursuit.
Yeah, tell that to Trivial Pursuit.
Is that what it actually says? The brain is the strongest muscle.
I think the question was, what is the? I like the question is like related to like an actual statement. It's like, what is the largest muscle or something in the human body or something? What was the actual? It's something like that, you know.
Largest muscle in the human body. Largest muscle in the human body is age-related muscle decline. That's an ad. Okay.
Anyways,
largest muscles you might be sitting on right now. I wonder what that.
Regardless,
it looks like it's the gluteus maximus.
All right then. Regardless,
the gluteus maximus is the buttocks. Okay, good.
No.
Right.
Kidding. Regardless,
That's definitely your feet.
Trivial Pursuit is wrong.
Middle ear.
Trivial Pursuit is wrong.
Yeah.
It only exists for you to answer dumb questions and get points.
That is true.
And misread cards and cause your entire family to laugh so hard at your misreadings that they fall through fucking chairs.
Hey, that sounds actually like fun though.
It was very fun when it happened.
It sounds like
that happened to you.
It
That
sounds
sounds
very
very.
having a family getting
No,
to
it
meet
was very
them,
funny
hang
at
out
the
with
time, but
them.
it was also just like I cannot read for shit sometimes.
Oh, speaking of that, I still have to edit that video. I'm gonna edit that video after this. Oh my
All right,
gosh.
nice off.
Okay, let me raise this to a location that we're gonna
Regardless, let me snap my fingers to get the attention.
sorry,
You can't
largest
hear
muscle-
that. What am I? Never mind. Anyways, forgive me, Father. It
Great
looks
game.
very good.
Yep.
Yeah,
Awesome.
looks interesting.
I don't care if it's a bad game. I don't care. It's a good game now. I like the aesthetic, and that's enough.
All right
I'm
then.
a terrible game reviewer, but I know what I like.
I mean, that's the
Should you
first
like this?
start.
Did you like this?
Like, here's
I
the
have
thing.
no idea. Do you
Knowing
have my
what you
aesthetic
like and
preferences?
knowing how to critique what you like is the first start of becoming a game reviewer.
Oh, really? Oh,
Well,
then
yeah,
people
'cause it's
will
like-
see
well,
you
imagine-
like what you like, and they'll be able to know what games they'll like in relation to the games you like or don't like.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Like if
Other
you're a
things
post,
a lot of-
they can reference things.
yeah, and also like the other thing is a lot of games reviewers, a lot of games journalism is like, all right, we gotta get this out now to make our money and get our clicks in. But generally speaking, games reviewers, good ones at least, know where they fall in like terms of like games they like and dislike. Because if you ask a reviewer to review a game, they review a game in a genre they dislike, obviously they're not going to do a good job.
Yeah.
They'll just get sidetracked and be like, whatever. I mean, I don't like this genre, so I don't know why you're asking me to review this kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's good to have an understanding of where you fall on the spectrum of game genres you enjoy, so you have a better understanding of how to critique what you enjoy and what you dislike.
Know yourself before you know the world.
All right then,
I'm gonna just keep quoting that, by the way.
you should
I'm gonna
just
use that formula.
all right then, but yes. Forgive Me, Father. It is out now, as I said. It's the launch trailer, so you can go get it off of Steam. I believe that's the only place it's coming out. Yeah, Steam. All right. Other than that, did you say anything about it, Matthew? You said some stuff about it, but was there anything major you wanted to talk about?
Interesting.
All right. I assume this is the game you were talking about when you said there was one you were very interested in, Devin.
Yes, this is the game I was talking about when I said yes.
Makes sense. I kind of, yeah. But yeah, just in general, good. I mean, I get to this point where at the end of a segment, I'm like, all right, I need to end the segment. And then I just start repeating myself to try and end the segment. It's like,
All right,
let me
moving
just
on to the next segment.
Let me just repeat the things I've already said about the game so I can get on with my to-do list. Anyways, but yes. Forgive me, Father.
Yeah, you'll build up the oratory skills. Just remember, don't stop talking. And if you stumble, you can just keep talking. And you can just keep talking. And if I start talking, you have to shut up. But if you keep talking,
makes sense.
It's entertaining if you just keep sounds coming out of your mouth, right? Yeah.
Maybe to babies.
Okay.
I mean, it's not even really an insult. It's kind of an insult to me, but it's like babies have really low standards of initiative. It's just it's the joke of like just wiggling keys in front of their face and they'll enjoy it, you know.
I know, it's so cute.
It's so cute. Yeah, so that's the end of trailers.
Yep.
Host topics, we don't have one. News, we have that though. Where did you go? Why did you mysteriously leave?
He vanished.
All right then.
Without a trace.
He crypt walked away.
Ooh, he's a ghost.
Sure.
Ooh. Ghost stay in view.
I'll be right back. I'm just getting some food together, so you guys can talk about
How dare you?
and the host topics and stuff.
Yeah, we don't have
What
a
host
host.
topics?
We don't have host topics. We never have them. Remember? Whatever.
I keep forgetting they exist.
You can probably hear us from there. News. That's the thing we're going
Either
for.
way, I really have nothing in regards to the news to say.
Really?
As typical, I don't understand gaming news.
Okay, that is fair as fair. Let me take one swift of water before I move on.
So I'm just gonna stare this way the entire time.
Yes, like a useful person.
I
So
actually
let us
burn from
just start with the
wind,
one. Let
air.
us start with God. My mouse stopped working for a second there. Let us start with the first piece of news, the one that both of you will probably have the least to say about in general. So, a new Monkey Island game has been recently announced. The return to Monkey Island. There is an official announcement trailer that doesn't have much in regards to the game itself. It's just sort of a jokey announcement trailer that shows off all the people that are working on it, and has a joke about John Romero making another Monkey Island game. But specifically, I will go into more details about it specifically. So Devolver Digital has announced a sequel to Secret of Monkey Island, and Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, is finally on its way, and it is rather fittingly called Return to Monkey Island. The Monkey Island co-creator, Ron Gilbert, is spearheading the project alongside fellow co-creator Dave Grossman. Dominic Armato will also return as the fan favorite voice of, get ready boys, you've never heard his name before. The main protagonist of Monkey Island is called Guybrush Threepwood. Guybrush Threepwood. To accompany this announcement, a new teaser was revealed, with a tenuous release date of sometime this year. Forgot to mention that. A funny thing in regards to this, though, is that originally when this was announced, it was on April Fool's. So Ron Gilbert trolled everybody when he originally announced this, and it's true. It's not an April Fool's joke.
Cool.
So yeah. Let's see. There's also a joke in this article about something that happens in the Monkey Island games in regards to fighting like a cow, and fighting like a cow and fighting like a dairy farmer. So that is that. There isn't much else in regards to the announcement itself, other than the, I think, biggest point of this announcement in regards is that this is a sequel to sorry, I'm getting distracted by something. This is a direct sequel to the original Monkey Island and Monkey Island 2 games that came out over 20 years ago now. And they kind of, I'm not going to say they invented point and click adventures, but they certainly sort of, majorly popularized them. The Monkey Island series, along with the King's Quest series, I believe are the games that really set in stone what point and click is for people who enjoy them. They're like the old school, what's the term? Not my mind says like king of the crop for some reason, but it's like the old school, The forefathers. There, that works. American colloquialism. I don't know. Anyways, the reason this is fairly big now, personally, I haven't really played any of the Monkey Island series. Point and click was a genre of game that I never really attached myself to all that much. But there are point and click games nowadays that I do enjoy greatly. So it's just a genre that I didn't initially like, mostly because it's all about puzzle solving and slow dialogue, which kid me hated. I was not a great, I don't want to say I wasn't a great thinker, but I was very much not in the line of like slow-paced, dialogue-heavy puzzle solving type deals. So, you know, it just wasn't for me at the time. Okay, sorry, I needed to take care of something really quickly. I'm sorry if I've seemed distracted. But yeah, so I direct. Now, there have been other Monkey Island games that have come out after the original two, but none of them have been sort of directly connected to either of those games. And they've just kind of do their own thing, and a lot of people have like mixed feelings on them.
I'm assuming Monkey Island is a classic game, right?
Yes, it is a classic from its time. You know, it was
Okay,
a
not one that I've
point and click of the what are old computers called? Amiga? Not the Amiga.
PCs.
Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, it but it's very much Monkey Island specifically is very much a sort of comedy focused point and click that you know, has a lot of, I don't want to say I'm not gonna say things I don't know, because otherwise I'm spreading false information regardless. But it's a very like comedy heavy game series that has a lot of weirdness to it, because it's a game series that takes place, for those of you who don't know, Secret of Monkey Island is a game about Guybrush Threepwood who wishes to become a pirate, and the world it inhabits is this sort of doesn't have a distinct time period, because there's a lot of just weird stuff and like out of place technology here and there, and a lot of odd characters. Like there's vending machines in this like weird dock town, because it's just this, you know, it's this very strange off the wall series in a way. One of the key cornerstones of this off the wall story is spoilers for the reason this, to me at least, is very big is because spoilers for Monkey Island 2, but originally the Monkey Island series was basically supposed to end at Secret of Monkey Island 2, and the ending of the series would have been the revelation that the adventures you went on were just some random pirate, like it was just the imagination of a kid who got lost in some random pirate ride in a park, and his brother is what is his name? His brother. So in the game, there's this evil ghost pirate called LeChuck, who is like the main villain, and he was actually your brother. Literally, because he's just your kid brother who went in to save you who went to find you because your parents asked him to. So the ending of the series would have been this weird pull the rug out from under you, where it's just like, oh, what the hell? It literally, like, the final fight with the LeChuck is literally like you fall down into this like underground like basically like the basement of a ride kind of area, and then you fight him, he reveals that he's your brother, and he's like, what? No. And then it just cuts to like the parents are there, and then you walk out of the ride as the kids with the parents. There is one little weird thing at the end where it may or may not have been LeChuck actually fooling you the whole time, but with no sequel, there's no way to know if that's the case or not. It was just a random ending thing. But yeah, like that to me is one of the strangest off and pull the rug out from under you endings to any game I've ever seen. It's just so ridiculous and like, what? Excuse me?
Yeah.
So the fact that this game, Return to Monkey Island, is a direct sequel to those two games is very interesting to me, because we'll finally have some kind of closure to that ridiculous ending. Yeah. Anyways, like I said at the beginning of this, neither of you probably have much to say about this because it's a game series that's very old at this point. And I don't think either of you have even played a point and click adventure. So, this is just something that I wanted to, yes?
I think I played some kind of like adventure games where like it was like a role-playing game, but that where you like click and your character walks over to that location, and you click and your character walks over to that location. I played some of those, but that might not be what you're talking about.
Well, that's probably a type of point and click adventure. Maybe a more simple one, but yeah, that's definitely probably in the style. But yeah, point and clicks, especially Lucas, because this is Devolver Digital and Lucas Arts. What is it, that company called? Why can't I remember the name of their company? LucasArts, basically, like a lot of the original people are back for this project as well. Like John Romero and Dave Grossman, and a lot of the original people of the old games are back for this new one. Yes, but yeah, point and click. A lot of LucasArts games very much relied on weird, like Monkey Island is one of the reasons that the joke of like, oh, you have to combine this weird, like, like weird off the wall puzzles with weird solutions, because that, cryptic, like it, these games are kind of the reason weird cryptic stuff is joked about in point and click adventures, because of the weirdness of the puzzles sometimes. Like literally one of the puzzles is that you need to win a spitting contest, and in order to do that you need to make your spit really viscous so it can go really far, but you also need to do it in time with the wind so it goes even further. And in order to make your spit really viscous, you have to drink this terrible ale stuff that you get from one of the bars in the shanty town. But in order to get it, you have to like do something for him, and it's like point and click adventures, especially Lucas ones, are basically a long string of doing favors for random people so you can ruin their lives. To put it simply and jokingly. But yeah, Return to Monkey Island. I'm honestly pretty excited for it. If I get the chance to play it, I definitely will. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what they come up with. Anyways, moving on to the second piece of news that neither of you probably have something to say about. A remake for Max Payne 1 and 2 has been confirmed. A remake has been confirmed. So Remedy has announced plans to make Max Payne 1 and 2 after agreeing a deal with original publisher Rockstar. The neo-noir action games, known for their bullet time gameplay, will return as a single title for PC, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and are built with Remedy's own Northlight game engine. Which is all very interesting. So, according to Remedy, Rockstar is footing the bill for development. study behind Alan Wake. Troll said the remake's development budget is in line with a typical Remedy AAA production. Royalty payments. So yeah, basically, there isn't much to say in general because it's just like, hey, this is a thing. But hey, at least people are getting paid to do good work. You know? And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, I will say, this will actually probably be pretty good, especially if, you know, the studio behind Alan Wake and Control are in charge of it, because they do a good job. Alan Wake is considered a very good game, and it kind of is actually somewhat similar to Max Payne, at least in tone, because Max Payne is a weird sort of Max Payne is kind of a weird game because it's this, you're playing as this cop and he's just doing these going on, he's basically just trying to stop a drug ring, I believe. But there's a lot of weird like delusions and dream sequences that happen in the game as well, on top of just you mowing through enemies with your slow time powers. But yeah, it's I mean, I'm somewhat excited for it. I know neither of you care all that much, but yeah.
Yeah, I do not know anything about Max Payne other than the name because I've heard it talked about before.
Yeah, you may have seen the Max Payne movie, which is not good. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw that. Anyways, yeah, just in general, I don't have too much else to say about this, other than I'm excited to see where this leads, and I'm very, okay. I hope no dumb stuff happens with this. And I say that because Rockstar and Take-Two are definitely involved with this, at least in some regard, which means there is a decently high chance that some dumb stuff might appear in this. And when I say dumb stuff, I mean like microtransactions or otherwise. I hope that doesn't happen, but it's a possibility. You know, it's just, you got to head your expectations when you deal with companies sometimes, especially Rockstar and Take-Two, who have continually re-released GTA 5 for like 10 years now. Yeah. So, what?
I said, wow.
Yeah, that's just ridiculous.
I mean, if they made it a good game, if it's a good game, why make a new game? Why put more work?
I mean, I suppose, but it's like they're not adding any new content to it, because originally it was released in 2013 for the PS3. That's how old that game is. It was before the PS4 even existed. It was launched on the PS3, and it was this groundbreaking game of its time, and it sold a bajillion units or what have you. And then there was talks of DLC for the game, but all DLC for the game got scrapped for the sake of the online stuff that they implemented. So basically, GTA Online is the thing that's been keeping it going because people just keep spending money on it. Because there are like daily missions you can do in the online, and there was a bunch of like heist missions that you could do with multiple people, and they keep updating stuff for that. And you can keep buying stuff in the game, and I don't know, shark cards, all that stuff. And like, so yeah, originally released then, and then it got a re-release on PS4 with a first-person function, which was interesting at the time. And then it got released on PC, and now it's being re-released again for like the PS5 and everything else. It's just ridiculous. But anyways, that aside, I am excited for this game series. I'm sure a lot of people are, actually, considering not many people liked Max Payne 3, and that was the thing that ended the series. So, yeah.
Oh.
I'm sure a lot of people are excited to go back to the games that they liked of the series. Anyways, yeah, that's all I have to say about it. So, moving on to our final bit of news, which is actually, this actually will take some time, surprisingly. So...
Is it the other article?
Yes, it is the Activision Blizzard one. So finally, Activision Blizzard has announced that they are going to be converting all of their temporary contract employees that are temporary contract employees into full-time employees with an improved salary of $20 an hour and access to full company benefits. So on the surface, I feel like this is kind of a good thing, because contracted work with game testers has always been not very good. Like, because basically what a lot of companies did was they would contract out game testing to these people. They would work on a temporary contract and get their, and work like that. But when you contract something like that, you don't actually have to pay them if you fire them before their contract is up.
Oh.
As far as I'm aware. I know that a lot of companies have fired massive amounts of their staff before they have to pay them. I know that's a thing that a lot of games companies have done before, and I highly doubt this is any exception. So yes, it is actually pretty good that these contracted workers are actually getting a decent salary and full company benefits. However, something kind of odd about this, and you'll figure it out once I read this. So first of all, I will say almost 1,100 staff will benefit from the change starting from 1st of January. Change from 1st of January all the way. Although this is the little caveat, this will not apply to staff at Call of Duty studio Raven, who are currently seeking unionization. That's a little weird, isn't it? Activision has said that it's prohibited from making... Oh, sorry. Continue.
It would make the contracts more complicated, right?
Yes, definitely. Activision has said that they are prohibited from making new kinds of compensation changes at Raven at this time due to legal obligations under the National Labor Relations Act. Thanks to The Verge for giving us that quote. Now, I don't have a business major, nor do I know a lot about that kind of stuff. However, I feel like they're using that as an excuse, maybe? It's just me, though. Anyways, the move follows months of employee action surrounding the rights of contract-based QA
Or maybe they're
workers.
trying to use it as an incentive to get people to not unionize.
Well, that's exactly what they're doing. That is 100% what they're doing. They're doing something that is good on the surface, but in actuality is definitely trying to make it seem like it's better to not unionize. But yeah, so move follows months of employee action surrounding the rights of contract-based QA workers who are employed en masse to test Activision's never-ending array of Call of Duty content. Just for Christmas. Yeah, also this... What the hell happened?
You're back. I don't know, you just disappeared.
Did my internet go out for a second there?
The
I didn't even notice something happened. Where did I leave off?
Activision hacked the stream.
That would make sense. Sorry about that. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I guess I'll just continue from here. So this article does bring up a thing I said before, where Activision laid off a third of its QA staff attached to Raven before Christmas last year. So I think that kind of proves my point, is like they have done this. They have done that, laid off massive amounts of QA staff before. So that's a thing. Activision confirmed its changes in emails shared with employees last night and said that the way Call of Duty was now released via an always-on model had prompted this change. Sure. I mean, that's probably correct, but it's also like, nah. Yeah, there's just a lot of quotes about Call of Duty's development. Steer, engagement, cycle, blah, blah. Sorry if I'm just skimming through this. It's just quotes about their Call of Duty development, which isn't really the main focus that I want to bring to light. In light of these changes, and as we look into our ambitions plans for the future, we are further refining how our development teams work together. QA is and continues to be critical to our development success. We have amazing QA teams in place that work hard to ensure our players have the best possible gaming experiences. Thank you. God. It's the most corporate thank you I've ever heard in my life. Your workers America. Okay, so communication. In a statement to The Verge, Communication Workers of America Secretary Treasurer Sarah Staffen said the changes were a clear result for staff who had spoken out. This is a quote from her. Make no mistake. All credit for Activision Blizzard's latest move to give all temporary and contingent QA team members full-time employment and a raise should go to the workers who have been organizing, mobilizing, and speaking out. Staffen said. Stevens can't fucking read for shit. It's especially galling that Activision has excluded Raven Software QA workers who had been at the forefront of this effort. From these benefits, the company's assertion that the National Labor Relations Act prevents them from including Raven workers is clearly an effort to divide workers and undermine their effort to form a union. Game Workers Alliance, CWA. Activision's disingenuous announcement is further evidence of the need for workers to have a protected voice on the job. Strongly urge Activision Blizzard to rectify this situation in respect of Raven QA workers' protected right to organize under the law. Workers Alliance, A Better ABK, also responded on Twitter. For nearly a year, ABK Workers Alliance has advocated for quality assurance employees and raised awareness surrounding the issues they face. Overjoyed announced that today, ABK has declared that 1,100 quality assurance testers will be converted to full-time employment and receive a pay raise, effectively making their wages to $20 an hour. So that was a lot of me just reading the article to some degree, but I kind of had to sort of get the full, idea across, because, I mean, it very much does seem like Activision is basically doing this to basically say, don't unionize, we'll give you stuff. Please don't unionize, it'll hurt our workflow, which is actually something they claimed. If you don't remember, we did actually cover an article where Activision literally stated that a union would literally just make things harder on them. It would make development slower. It would slow development cycle. It would make things more difficult. It's not a good thing to unionize. Trust us. We're just the ones who make way more money than we deserve. So yeah, like I said, it's pretty clear to me that they're, it's like the article points it out too, like specifically the, Sarah Stevens, the quote I read from her is like, she very much has that thought process as well. And I don't blame her from having it, considering But I don't know. What do you think?
News, words.
All right. What about you, Devin? Yes, no?
I mean, I'm gonna have an opinion you don't like on this.
I mean, listen, I get it. There's the one tenuous thing of like I get it.
Here's the thing. I don't personally like unions that much because they make it so that instead of the employee having to struggle against the company, they have to struggle against the union. But they don't necessarily have as much support because it's not as socially accepted to struggle against a union.
Well, maybe that wouldn't be the case if we, I don't know, had them.
I mean, to be fair, if we encourage people to work more to hold their own unions accountable for nonsense, then that's good. Then that'd be good.
I mean,
but here's the thing. In my experience with unions, with interacting with unions and hearing stories of unions, I have heard a lot of things like a lot of things about how they end up being very horribly inefficient. How you can sign on with them and then not work for months and months and months. How you can be working for them, and if you're new, you're going to be given 150% more work, and you're going to have to struggle through it in order to get seniority, and you're going to have to stay working there for like 13 years before finally you get seniority, and then you do 30% of the work. And then if you're really senior, you do 10% of the work.
I mean,
and it has less to do with competence and ability and more to do with just how long have you been working at the union.
Well, I mean,
I like meritocracy. I'm one of those horrible people who likes meritocracy.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not even saying like every system has its problems to at least some degree, but the reason unionization is important, at least to me, is because it gives workers more security. Like it allows them to be more comfortable in their position and not be on the but not be in fear of the company just letting them go for some fucking reason. You know, it gives them more job security. You know, that thing that we don't have.
Yeah.
But like,
does it though? I mean, it does give them more job security. Yeah, I guess.
I mean, well, here's the thing.
Firing.
America, well, maybe not America, but as far as business goes, a lot of high-ranking businesses really don't like unions. They don't want them. They don't want the unions to. They don't want the workers to unionize and become better. Well, not even better. It's just like it's one of those things where you're gonna have bad union workers where they just abuse their position because it's weirdly human nature for evil people to get into positions of power for some reason. Don't know how that happens all the time, but it just does.
Well, it's the nature of power. People who want power get power.
I feel like on the whole, I feel like part of the reason that happens, at least in unions, on the union scale, is because they're so small. Like there's like very little unionization within a lot of industries, especially the games industry literally has no unionization. You know the word I'm trying to say, zation at all. We covered a story where like literally North America got its first games union period a while back. So the fact that it's such a new thing and there's so little of it definitely means there's more room for error, you know?
Yeah.
It's one of those things where if unions were more widespread, we wouldn't have as much of a problem because all the kinks would have been worked out by now. You know?
Yeah.
And you would probably still get bad union leaders just in the same way you still get bad CEOs or bad bosses. I mean, like, just we're disregarding unions. It's literally like if you work at an office job, sometimes you'll just have a boss you hate the guts of, but you can't do anything because he's your boss. And that boss has a boss he has to answer to, but he takes his anger out on you because he's a small man inside. That was unrelated. But you get what I'm saying. It's
about your boss.
But like, you get what I'm saying. It's just, in the grand scheme of things, I feel like unions help overall, and they would help more if companies and weirdly the general populace sometimes is so against them. Like a lot of hatred and misunderstanding.
Here's the thing. Okay, can I they're in the US, after the mask mandates were ruled to be unconstitutional and the vaccination mandates were ruled to be unconstitutional, the unions were still pushing them. Every single other company and business had decided that, you know, these are not particularly effective, they're not particularly useful, and we're going to be rolling back on them, putting it to people's choices to do this. But unions were fully in support of it, and they were holding back other companies from removing this. And so there were people who had to wear masks.
I mean, there was a mask mandate in Illinois because we have a sensible man. Not well, that's up to you. But we had an ass mandate here, man.
I know. I'm not talking about having a mask mandate. I'm talking about continuing.
No, ass mandate is clearly what I said.
Okay.
Mask mandate.
Can't continuing it over once it has been deemed unviable or no longer necessary. Like, I mean, right now, I'm 99% sure that like I haven't looked at deaths from COVID, but they're so far down, at least in the US.
Well, here's the thing. I always like kind of agreed with you in regards to its death factor. It was never a very deadly virus, at least to the major majority. There are people that are at risk, and yes, we should protect those people, but like...
No, Aaron, it was a super death. Yeah, we've had 500 deaths in the US. That is way lower than I thought it was. I thought it was going to be at least 6,000. Wow. Okay. Wow.
Well, when you think about it, there were only two groups of people that were even...
We have an 82% vaccination rate. We have wow, that's higher than I thought it would be. Wow. Okay.
When COVID hit here, people panicked because they're idiots, but also it's like there were really only ever two types of people that were at risk of dying from COVID, which were people that had previous illnesses and old people that were just, you know, didn't have the strength to get through it. I had COVID. I didn't die.
And so now most of the old people are dead.
Well, no, most of them are still alive. I mean, hell, there was a lot of older people that caught COVID anyways, and they didn't die, as far as I'm aware.
Has nothing to do with COVID. I don't know what you said. You lagged out.
It doesn't matter. Regardless, this is off topic. But regardless, like, I do agree with you in regards to, like, yes, there should be a line somewhere. But that line would be easier to draw if unions were more widespread anyways. You know?
Yeah.
If companies actually worked with unions instead of threw them to the wayside, so they had to work on the outside instead of work on the inside with the companies, maybe they'd agree with some of the things they're doing. I don't know. I'm not a business major. Anyways,
yeah, maybe I can see that.
All I can do is offer my opinion and hope for the best. You know, that's all I can do, because I am technically not even qualified to talk about this as far as an academic sense is concerned.
I mean, we're not qualified to talk about games, and we talk about games. Talking about me and Matthew.
I mean, there's not a degree to do that, though.
Is there actually a degree to talk about?
No. Oh, okay. There's not a degree in games journalism.
I think there is, actually.
I mean, maybe now there is, but there definitely wasn't 10 years ago. Anyways, but yeah, unions, they're a thing that help workers most of the time, or at least you'd hope so.
And they hurt companies, which means they should be abolished because companies are important.
Exactly.
Companies, man.
Exactly.
Haven't you heard of too big to fail? Companies are essential.
Yeah, those things.
Companies are.
I love those things. They're great. They definitely always work and never fail. I've never even heard of a bubble popping. Have you?
Oh, nope. No, I don't even know what
I've never heard of economies just crying out in pain. Economies. We're getting to the point that I physically can no longer form coherent words. It's a new record, folks. Anyways, yeah, I mean, that's about it, I suppose, from the article itself. We had a nice little discussion. But again, getting back to one quick thing is that, like I said, Activision has, so the thing I wanted to bring before is that regardless of what my opinion is or other people's, Activision has made an official statement that they legally cannot provide compensation to Raven QA testers because of some legal obligations under the National Labor Relations Act.
Well, then that's the reason.
So regardless of what your opinion on their actions are, they have made a statement that they cannot do this because of that reason. Whether that is the full length of their goal or not is entirely up to your position. Personally, regardless of their legal, regardless of the legal obligations tied to it, I do think they are partially doing this to try and get people to not unionize. That's just a personal thing, though, regardless if somebody agrees with me.
I mean, if you're going to be a conspiracy theorist, it makes sense with the motivations lining up.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a personal thing at this point. There are people that agree with me on that, but ultimately it comes down to whether or not you believe the words they wish to spout at you. Weird way to say that, but so yeah, I don't know, I'm not here to tell you what to think, even though that's what I'm doing. Go make your own thoughts, go read the article, make your own opinions, disagree with me if you want, I don't care, just don't insult me, because that isn't a good way to have a discussion.
Simply agree with me.
Yes, agree with everything I say.
No, just agree with me.
You agree with me.
No, me, not him, me.
Don't agree with him, agree with me.
No, agree with me.
Agree with me.
No, we're just
actually, you know what? Politics. Agree with Matthew. He doesn't seem to have an opinion.
I was gonna say, agree with me.
Anyways, I think that just about does it for everything we have to talk about. So we can head on over to our old friend Shameless Self-Promotion, the part of the show where we promote ourselves shamelessly. So in that case, Matthew, hey, what's up? What you got coming up that people can look forward to, and or where can people find you?
I need to edit a thing I keep forgetting.
Sounds about right. Is that it? I'm going to take that as a yes.
I mean, unless I magically get a game system done in 5 days.
Who knows?
But there might be a game system.
Yeah.
Really?
Who knows? It technically is possible if you're superhuman.
Well, maybe you are, and you just haven't discovered it yet. Yeah. So,
well, I have been writing a lot. So.
All right. So that's it for you. You don't got nothing to promote?
No, I just want to sit here still and keep everyone else from self-promoting.
Well, too bad. Devin, go for it.
No, Devin can't self-promote. I'm still doing it. I'm still in my section.
I am named Devin. I have a YouTube channel called Bean Plays Bean. It's not called Bean Plays Minecraft. It's called.
Oh, that was a weird laugh. That I like it. That laugh came from the front and then went to the back. It was really weird.
Yeah, if I'm being honest, I don't remember what my channel is called. It's called Bean something. Bean the Builder.
Bean the How do you not remember?
Because I have too many channels. And I'm a little tired right now, and I'm sick. So I have excuses.
Then
I've just been talking.
sleep and eat and
No,
work.
So I have a YouTube channel called Mr. Wolf. If you want to be seeing, if you're interested in Game of Thrones, then I'm doing a breakdown. I'm cutting up a 4-hour live stream where two guys talked about Game of Thrones and animating it, and that's a lot of fun.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be uploading those for the next few years, however long it takes.
Yeah.
Probably the next few months.
Yeah.
And you can find me on Bean the Builder, where I make Minecraft videos, and you can find me on that's it. I don't think I'm active on any other stuff right now. That's it.
All right.
I have a Twitter now. It's called Mr. Wolf.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, at Fat Not Wolf. If you want to use Twitter at me, I'm not really sure how to use Twitter though.
Neither do I, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I don't really understand it either, so don't worry. We're clearly all in the same boat.
We're all people that don't understand this newfangled technology from 10 years ago.
Yep.
All right. Is that it for you then?
Yeah, that's it.
All right,
That's
cool.
All I understand is that Twitter is absolutely insane. All the people on Twitter
that's
clearly
unsurprising.
from Jokostal.
All the insanity on the internet used to be just contained to Tumblr, and then everybody migrated to Twitter, and now it's just as bad. Or at least that's what I've been told.
How dare they leave?
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's it for you. I already said that, and you agreed with me, so I'll be moving on to me, because that's I really need to stop repeating myself. It's getting annoying for me. But yes, what am I doing? Well, not what I'm doing. What you can find me on. You can find me on the YouTube channel you're currently on, or the SoundCloud channel you're currently on. You know, where you listen to the thing you're currently listening to. Gaming Comment Discussion, or GTD Podcast on SoundCloud. You can get me on Twitter on the Gaming Comment Discussion, Gaming Discuss. I might rename that thing, where I just post when the episode happens and nothing else. I used to like retweet or post news articles, but then I stopped doing that because it was more work than it was worth. Well, it wasn't even more work. It was just, there wasn't really any point to it. It's hard to just put your thoughts into a tweet because there's a word limit. But you know, other than that, you can, I mean, the episodes will continue to be posted as per usual. Hopefully no more delays. Yeah, that's about it. I don't really have anything else. I mentioned I was working on some kind of video script for Dark Souls related, or not Dark Souls related, but difficulty related content a while ago. It's still vaguely in the works. Just, you know, wait, did I even say what I was doing? I just realized I think I completely skipped over myself when we were talking about what we were doing this week during that segment. I think I completely skipped over myself. Oops. Well, I guess that is pretty telling as to what I did if I skipped over myself. I feel like that's pretty telling. I don't think you need to know, because you can guess, okay? You can guess what I was doing. But yeah,
some people wouldn't have.
Other than that, that's about it. Yeah, other than that, that's about it. That's a fun sentence to say. It makes perfect sense, and it gets across my point great. End of shameless self-promotion, because that's all I have to promote. And yeah, end of the podcast time. At some point, there will be a smooth transition between those two things. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of the GT Podcast. I hope you enjoyed this rambling mess, and I hope you got angry at our political opinions, because that means it drives discussion. or well, never mind. But
See,
yeah,
Aaron, if they got angry, then they're wrong.
exactly. Do all the things that are
If you
related
got
to
angry at our opinions, then you have the wrong opinions.
exactly. If you got angry at us, you're wrong, and you should feel bad.
Oh, I just got muted. Nope. My sound went off. What the heck?
Aaron, what happened to your
I'm
audio sound?
Pretty sure
it's back.
pretty sure my computer is very angry at me right now. So I need to end this before everything breaks down before my eyes.
Wait, why would
All
your
right.
computer be angry at you right now?
I don't know. My internet's been real bad lately. I need to
That's
get a
your
new
internet.
device that hooks up to the internet correctly and not rely on a USB that's too slow. Anyways,
I never said it was perfect.
I never expected it to be. I've honestly been using it too long. I need to get that device that you use. Buy it for me, please.
I honestly don't know if we can.
So getting back to the end of the podcast. Yes, do all the things that help share the podcast around the place and make it grow. Those things.
Yes, the things that do things that help things.
Exactly. Like I said before, you can find the podcast at GT Podcast or the Gaming Discussion on either side on YouTube. It's whatever you want to do. If you want to see our beautiful faces, head over to YouTube. If you hate our faces, then head over to SoundCloud. I've been told I have a great voice for radio, so damn it! I misdid my joke. I meant to say have a great face for radio.
Oh.
And now my cat is interrupting. All right. So with that last terrible joke out of the way, thank you all so much for watching, and see you next time.
Bye.
There we go.
Bye.
That's what I like to see.